When you're young, it's easy to think you've got endless time to figure things out. But the truth is, there are habits and choices that can quietly ruin your life if you don't catch them early. I'm not saying this for some perfect guru perspective. I've made mistakes, I've watched friends go off the rails, and I know how easy it is to slip into stuff that holds you back. That's why I want to talk to you about a few things that can seriously mess up your 20s if you're not careful. Let's start with something that's probably the easiest trap to fall into: living for instant gratification. Your 20s are the time when you either build momentum or fall behind. But it's so tempting to chase that quick hit of fun and dopamine, like gaming, partying, scrolling. I had a buddy in college who loved to play video games. He skipped class to grind COD and sleep all day. At first, it seemed harmless. We joked about how he basically lived in the dark. But one semester turned into two, and eventually he failed out. While everyone else walked to graduation, he was back at home trying to figure out what went wrong. It wasn't just one huge mistake, it was all the little choices piling up. And it's not just time you lose, it's money too, which brings me to my next point. A lot of young guys treat money like it's endless. You get a paycheck and blow it on food, clothes, or nights out, and then wonder why you're broke on Monday. Even small habits add up fast. I learned this the hard way. I used to scroll on my phone for hours instead of tracking spending or planning a budget. One week I realized I spent half my paycheck on dumb stuff and had nothing left for essentials. That feeling of being broke while seeing other people seemingly crush it online hits hard. Learning to control your money isn't just about being responsible, it's about creating freedom for yourself later. Speaking of social media and seeing other people crush it, that actually brings me to one of the biggest silent traps young men fall into: comparison. Comparison is brutal because it sneaks up on you. You hop on Instagram or TikTok, and suddenly everyone your age looks like they've gotten their life together. They got better cars than you, bigger muscles, hotter girlfriends, more money. I've fallen into this trap myself. There were nights I sat doom scrolling, telling myself I just checked for 5 minutes, and then 3 hours later, I hadn't done a single thing on my to do list, and I felt anxious, frustrated, and behind, all because I was comparing myself to strangers online. When in reality, that's just their highlight reel, that isn't who they actually are. Social media can motivate you if used wisely, but too often it just steals time and confidence. And while you're thinking about others people's lives online, it's easy to forget about the company you keep in real life. The people you surround yourself with can either lift you up or hold you back. I had a friend group back in high school that spent all their time partying and complaining about life. I eventually had to distance myself, and looking back, it made a huge difference. The guys who stayed stuck in that group, years later, most are still in the same spot. It's not about cutting people off completely, it's about making sure the people around you are encouraging growth rather than stagnation. And if your friends aren't enough to motivate you, nothing will, because you also need to be willing to put in hard work yourself. Discipline compounds: the gym, your career, a side hustle, it all pays off over time. Avoiding hard work now just guarantees you'll struggle later. I know guys who quit jobs because they were too hard or avoided challenges thinking something easier would come along. Life doesn't work that way, unfortunately. The grind is what sets you apart. While we're talking about focus and effort, another trap I see is when guys let women become their purpose instead of part of their life. This one wrecks a lot of guys. If your main focus is girls rather than building yourself, you'll waste years. I've seen guys drop classes, skip work, and blow money just for a relationship that didn't last. Women can add to your life, but they can't be your reason for existing. Build yourself first, and the rest will fall into place. Women should complement your life rather than just be a part of it. Building yourself isn't just about work or relationships, it's also about acting instead of waiting. A lot of young guys think opportunities will just come to them, but that's rarely the case. I had a buddy who always talked about starting a side business, but he never acted. "I'll do it next semester," he'd say. Fast forward, he graduated, nothing changed. He ended up in a job he didn't like, wishing he had taken action earlier. Being passive feels safe, but it costs you time you'll never get back. Even failing at something is better than doing nothing at all. And while building yourself, don't forget about the people who can actually support you. I went through a phase where I barely saw anyone. I thought I'll just lock in and focus on myself. And yeah, I got some stuff done, but also just felt unmotivated, anxious, and more likely to fall back into bad habits like scrolling aimlessly. Humans aren't meant to go through life completely by themselves. The right friend pushes you, calls you out, and are there when things get rough. You don't just need a ton, you just need a solid few ones who will be there and have your back at all points. And finally, probably the most important trap, thinking you have endless time. When you're young, it feels like you've got forever to figure things out, but time flies. I know some guys who said, I'll figure it out later, and now they're pushing 30 with no plan, no savings, and no real skills to show for years. Don't let that be you. Start small, start now, and build habits that compound. At the end of the day, none of these things will destroy your life overnight, but they'll chip away at you slowly. And before you know it, years have gone by. But the good news, catch these traps early and make small changes, and your 20s can set you up for life that you actually want. I've seen friends waste it, I've seen friends crush it, and you can be the second group if you take it seriously. Don't wait for regret to teach you the hard way.